Hello everybody, it is Future Friday, when we take a deep look at something new coming up in the auto industry. Now today's topic is going to be the refreshed 2024 Hyundai Elantra and Elantra N. So let's go ahead and dive into that. So with the recent update of the Sonata, we made a video about renderings, and now we've actually seen the production version. The same thing is going to be happening here with the smaller sibling, the Hyundai Elantra. This, of course, is a more affordable model, but it also has a wider range of available models, going all the way up to that high-performance N, like Mason was mentioning in the introduction. This is going to be a little bit different, though, today, because this has actually been unveiled in South Korea. So we have real images to look at, not just renderings of what we think it could look like. That being said, this is not the American version. It has not been officially unveiled in the US, so there probably still will be some differences, but we'll go ahead and dive in, take a look at all the details that we have today. Now we want to start out with the exterior design because that's going to be the biggest point of change for this refreshed Elantra model. Now we're going to go ahead and start out here with the regular non-performance version, and then we'll dive into what the Elantra N will look like. I know you guys are very excited to see both of them, so we'll go ahead and dive into that. So starting out here with the front design of this Elantra, this is basically a completely new look, and I really like the way this looks. So this is the regular version, and we do have a full-length light bar across the front, which is something we've seen on the new Sonata, the new Hyundai Kona. All of those new Hyundai products are having this light bar across the front. So this brings the Elantra into the newest Hyundai design theme. And one of the big things that I'm noticing are the headlights. These are going to be a different shape, and they also do appear to have different lighting technology. It appears like they have some nice projector LED headlamps, which I would hope may be standard equipment on the Elantra, where it previously was just reserved for the limited trim level. That's something I'm really hoping for this new one.
For sure, yeah. The old one, a lot of the trim levels came with incandescent or halogen headlights, and yeah, that's a little bit cheap, especially a lot of competition like Corolla and Civic. They do have the standard LEDs.
Now, not stopping there, we do have a more aggressive lower diffuser area, and if you want to compare that to what we currently have, as you can see, this is kind of more of a triangular grille here. This is definitely more angular in terms of the design, but it doesn't have as aggressive of a look on it, so I do like the direction that they're going for this new model.
Right. And by the way, the model that we're showing you right now, that is known as the Hyundai Elantra in South Korea, not the Elantra, but it will be the same thing.
But now let's go ahead and hop over to the Elantra N, because I know a lot of you guys love this car. We love this car. It's really phenomenal. And this actually does have an even more different design as compared to the current Elantra N. Now, the current one has that kind of mask shape where basically the whole front end is blacked out. You're going to have a very blacked out front end here, but you do have some color thrown in various parts. So let's go ahead and break that down. We're going to still have the full-length light bar all the way across, basically the same headlight shape on this N model, but we are adding this black piece all the way through here, a jut down all the way into the lower diffuser, a very aggressive piece right here, and then you're also going to have the red trim around the bottom, which is something we've grown accustomed to with other Hyundai models. Now, I want you guys to go down in the comment section below and let us know what you think of this new design for the Elantra N as well as the regular Elantra models. Is it an improvement? I personally really like it, but you guys let us know what you think down below.
Now, when it comes to the ends, Hyundai really just throws everything they have at it. But let's take a look at the back of the normal-looking model. As you can see, this one is a lot more of a subtle upgrade versus the front end. You're going to notice just a little bit revised styling when it comes to the taillights and also the lower fascia. We have this silver piece that's kind of accenting through there. I do like the one-piece taillight. That looks really nice, and it still keeps that really unique-looking rear deck lid that kind of shapes into a spoiler. Yeah, here's the current one. So here's the current Elantra Limited. It does not have that silver accent down at the bottom. I think that's a big improvement, having that accent. It makes it look a little bit more premium. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Elantra N's rear design. Now, this does look pretty similar to the current one as well. Actually, I feel like the N is updated a little bit less than the regular gas-powered limited model, because we don't really have too different of a rear diffuser as compared to the current Elantra N. We're going to get the slightly updated taillights. We're going to keep the deck lid spoiler. Of course, you're going to keep the lovely dual exhaust pipes, the signature Hyundai triangle right here in the middle, and hopefully it still has the same phenomenal exhaust note. You know, we love the exhaust note on the Elantra N, so hopefully it's going to be just as good, maybe even better. That would be a plus.
Yeah, very, very aggressive overall design. Also, we have updated wheels. That's probably going to go across the entire lineup. You're going to see all the trims have new wheel designs, but this is a new design for the N for sure. I like that design direction, and we continue to have the really sharp angles here on the side, which is kind of the distinct Elantra design element. All right, so now let's move on to the interior. We went ahead and pulled up a picture of the 2024 Avante, and taking a look at it, honestly, it's hard to actually identify any changes at all. From what I'm seeing, this looks exactly like the 2023 Elantra Limited we reviewed a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, you still have all of the normal design elements, the stitching details all through here. You're still keeping the handlebar design, which I'm a little surprised to see. I thought they might change that for the refresh model. The gauge cluster, as well as the screens, they look the same as the current US version. Here's that for reference. Really, the only thing that I can pinpoint that might be different is slightly different steering wheel design. I see that this one has chrome trim on the current US spec limited model, and then if we go back over to this one, we have a gray trim around the steering wheel, so you might have a slightly different steering wheel design, but honestly I feel like that's probably just a difference between being the Korean version and what we have here in America. So I wouldn't be surprised to see basically the exact same interior come over from the current version of the Elantra. Now, one thing I do want to bring up is that maybe we could have improved technology on this 2024 refresh. We don't expect to see a lot of technology differences, but in South Korea, this Avante does have a 360-degree camera available, so maybe we'll see that added to the US version.
Moving on to the next section, powertrains. We do expect these to stay the same for 2024 because this is just a refresh. And like I mentioned at the beginning, Elantra has just a really wide variety of options throughout the lineup. You've got a ton of choices. You've got the 2-liter 4-cylinder, the 1.6-liter turbo, you've got the hybrid, and then you've got the mighty 2-liter turbo in the N. So lots and lots of choices. We do expect those to stay pretty much the same, maybe a few different horsepowers here and there, something like that.
Yeah, it should also still remain front-wheel drive exclusive. And one thing that I could possibly see them changing would be the availability of a manual transmission on the N model. I know that they introduced it with a manual transmission, but they might discontinue the availability of that. I believe the dual clutch has been the more popular choice among Elantra N buyers, and they did get rid of the manual transmission option on the N line last year. So they could be just making a move to get rid of the manual transmission, period. Or maybe they'll provide an updated manual, but I don't see that happening. I just say that that might be a 10 to 15% likelihood.
Yeah, hopefully not.
And one of the last things that we want to talk about is the expected pricing. If you're looking to buy one of these Elantras, we don't expect a huge price increase for 2024. I'd say 5% or less. So you'd probably be looking at a base price of about $21,500, maybe for an SE model, and then maybe $1,000 on each trim level higher. So about $29,000 fully loaded for a limited model. If you go for the Elantra N,
that will probably be about $34,000 is what I'm expecting. It will obviously depend on if they still offer the manual transmission or the dual clutch, because if they do eliminate the manual transmission, that will raise your base price for the Elantra N, because the dual clutch is at a price premium for that model.
Now, we should be hearing more about the 2024 Elantra coming up relatively soon this summer. We're looking at a 2024 model year product, which should mean also that it would come to dealerships sometime in fall of 2023. Hopefully, nowadays you never know if there's going to be delays and stuff like that, but things have been, really improving in the auto industry recently. So hopefully won't be any delays, and we'll have that kind of a normal schedule of new car reveals.
But guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up all we have to talk about what we think the 2024 Hyundai Elantra will look like. Now, of course, we want you all to do your part by going down to the comment section and letting us know what you think about this refreshed 2024 Elantra. Do you think it was an improvement? Do you like the new front end? Do you like that they really haven't changed the interior at all? Do you think they could have made some improvements there? Those are all questions we want you guys to answer in the comment section down below, because people at Hyundai, they watch these videos and they listen, so by doing so, you might be able to have your opinion heard. And I do also want to bring up that we will have the latest information when this 2024 Elantra model comes out on the channel. If you're not already subscribed, you are really missing out, because we post new car reviews nearly daily. We also have a ton of different content on our channel, including comparisons, first look reviews, as well as our signature full reviews, and we will be doing pretty much all of those for this 2024 Elantra, because a lot of people buy these each year. If you're new to the channel, you probably don't know this, but actually my first vehicle was a Hyundai Elantra. It's been a special car for me, so I'm certainly excited to see this new 2024 model when it comes out, and it will be featured on the channel. So please go ahead and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.